Pretty sweet night for your friend Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
They completely changed the game plan. A lot of running, a lot of patience, a lot of everything like that. He came out afterwards and said, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of that trip home. What does that mean, AJ? Is he blacking out on that plane trip home? And what would you be doing if you're a Green Bay Packer right now?
I don't know. I mean, it's one of the longer plane trips you have when you play in Green Bay, so who knows? Has someone checked on him this morning? Not this morning, this afternoon. Make sure he's all right.
I sent him a text. I did not get a response. Did you? Have you checked on him? Have you?
I have not checked on him. I didn't hear his post-game comment about that. Maybe I'll need to.
Well, he did an interview with Aaron Andrews, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
By the way, they had me on the Calm Down podcast.
Good show.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
You know the Calm Down podcast, AJ?
Is that Aaron Andrews and Carissa?
Yep. They had me on there. It's very nice of them. I appreciate it. It's one of my wife's favorite shows, so that scored me some points at the house.
Nice.
Getting on that show, doing that whole thing.
Hey, first off, aren't you a little impressed by both defenses, Arizona and Green Bay's?
I think so. With no J.J. Watt, I didn't know what they were going to do. Turns out Chandler Jones still fucking really good at football. What was that cheap shot all about on Aaron? What was Phillips' cheap shot all about? Because normally, Aaron, OG, a lot of laughing, a lot of camaraderie. Against the Bears, it was a little bit different, I think.
Right.
There wasn't as much. But that was a blatant late hit, cheap shot, full body, then a teabag. Then a teabag by the guy, and then a meme that will live on in infamy forever. What was that all about, you think, AJ? I didn't know anybody felt that way towards Aaron. I thought everybody loved Aaron.
They do. I think, I don't know. In the heat of the battle, as they say, it's moving so fast. It is something you don't see. It doesn't happen to guys with, Aaron's resume usually a whole lot, but hey, it happens. I'm sure he's okay with it.
How do you feel about that guy doing that, trying to set the tone? Because this is something when I was, potentially going to be kicker and punter for a team in the NFL when I was this is before the draft.
Oh.
Nobody's ever done that. Nobody's ever had success doing that. It's too many reps on your leg. Plus, if you get hurt in the middle of a game, you're out 2 positions. You're completely fucked. And my response was, well, if a quarterback gets hurt, most teams are fucked anyways, right? I mean, that is just kind of how this goes. Now, granted, much different level of importance. Without a kicker and punter, you can replace me next week or whatever, but in the middle of a game, if you lose all ability to kick a ball, you're probably going to be fucked just from a systematic standpoint. But in the NFL, if your team is a team that has Aaron Rodgers on it, and your team has 6 people out or whatever, 10 people out, whatever it is, and you take out Aaron, that team's much different. You would just hope within the confines of the game and the league, in the brotherhood, that nobody would want to really do that. That seemed like a blatant cheap shot.
Yeah.
Like legit, that was especially in 2021.
Right.
With who Aaron is, what the rules are, where the ref was standing. I don't even think threw a flag, by the way, because it was a touchdown. So who cares is what the ref's saying or whatever. That was obviously late. And Aaron, to his credit, he did bitch about the potential horse collar.
Yep.
But that was middle of the back. That was a hell of a grab. Awesome shot of him. And if he doesn't have that picture of his helmet up over his face, which people have made incredible captions for around the internet. And to Aaron's point, the internet is undefeated. Him falling and looking like this is an incredible gif, incredible meme, incredible moment. But he never asked for those penalties. He never says what's going on. I assume while he was laying on the ground right there, he thought to himself, well, what the fuck was that? He had to have, AJ.
Of course, I'm sure he did, but he gets over it pretty quick. I think he probably understands. I don't know if he talked to him after the game or not. Do you think he came up and apologized? He said, hey, man, I got a little carried away?
I do not know. I would like to hear that on Next Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, but he also landed on his arm. Yeah. And then whenever they showed LaFleur's high five, I was really checking, like, did Aaron put his entire arm up there? Hey, that son of a bitch is on a squat rack.
It'll be fine.
That dude's 300 pounds that landed full weight on him. He's 37 years old. Dropping his shoulder on folks, by the way. Lowering his head and trying to run people over at 37. And also landing on his shoulder in a very similar tackle that happens and people blow out their shit. I mean, this happens on a very regular basis. What is this durable hippie Aaron 37-year-old MVP on, AJ? This dude is superhuman. Is it just the powerlift squats that he's doing out there, AJ?
It must be. It's that with the combination. It seems like he has the right yin and yang, doesn't he? The powerlift squats mixed with all these books in the book club that he reads and absorbs into his brain and tries to kind of manifest into his body.
Ram Das. Shish. Ram Das. Shish. That's what he's got going on. Yeah, plus the squatting, plus all the waters. He's jumping off of waterfalls in the offseason. That's building up the grit of the salt water going up his nose and maybe building calluses around his labrum and everything like that. But that game was, if I'm a Packers fan, I'm very pumped about how they adapted to the game, AJ. They adapted him and LaFleur, Aaron and LaFleur's patience and game plan, knowing it's going to be very boring to watch probably. This is not going to be a lot of fun. Corey Bojorquez, Bojo controlling field position. I mean, it was a great game for the Packers, AJ.
Well, don't you think the most impressive, not the most impressive, but what really helped him was the running attack with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon? Like, you felt like every time A.J. Dillon touched the ball, that dude was falling forward for at least 5 or 6, and he was punishing guys. Like, I give Arizona's defense credit. I know they gave up, 150 rushing between the two, but those guys can fly. Those guys come up, they hit, and they can absolutely fly, I feel like.
Boom. A.J. Dillon started getting hot sauce, as in applesauce, which you will never see him without.
That's right.
Sauce, A.J. Dillon started heating up. Aaron Jones started heating up.
Yeah.
And to your point, A.J. Dillon is quite a stallion to tackle, isn't he?
Unbelievable.
Quite a stallion.
I mean, so Connor, that's a true clip, right, of Connor pushing him out of bounds?
Not pushing.
You pushed him.
There's a message-sending hit, AJ. Please.
Taunting.
Show some respect.
But you have just bowed out gracefully, completely, and not gracefully. You bowed out disgracefully and respectfully, I guess, out of the Oklahoma drill against A.J. Dillon. And I think at this point, Kenny Powers,
Yeah.
probably the right move.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's the right move. I mean, there was a time there where I believe he thought that we were going to do it without pads. I mean, he would be in jail right now if we did an Oklahoma drill without pads because I would be 6 feet under the ground after concaving my chest in.